to another episode of
Gemini
Gemini
Soulcast.
Soulcast.
Hope everybody had a wonderful week and weekend and had some time to reflect upon our previous two episodes. Thank you everybody for tuning in so far. And now we're here on episode 3, and I can only say that, like, wow, it's been already an amazing journey.
An amazing journey. And for those that are just tuning in or maybe stumbling upon this episode, I'm your host, Sin.
And I'm your host, Rob.
So what's going on?
You know, life is good. Life is good. I think I'm at a part right now in my life where I'm reflecting upon a lot of different things right now.
Same. Same.
At least in astrology, we are currently in the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. This is the last time we're in this transit and we're not going to see this for the rest of our lives.
The rest of our lives, yeah.
And from what I know, and a lot of it's about learning and accumulation of the past 15 years, the work that we've done. And so I've had a chance to really reflect a lot upon that. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So I guess my question to you is, like, now people are not starting to know you as a psychic medium.
Yes.
But that wasn't always the case for you.
No. Absolutely not.
Right.
I didn't even know I was going to wind up here.
Because I asked you about, did you always knew that was something you're going to do? And you said that when you were younger, you could always see aura on people.
Yes.
But you didn't know that was your calling necessarily.
No. And I felt like everybody could see what I saw.
Right. So then take me through that journey of then like realizing that, okay, like, this is the thing. And then because I think if you don't mind, I would love to share it on the podcast, which is Sin she quit her job.
I did.
Yes. Full-time job. How long have you been working at this place for?
5 years.
5 years.
5 years. And I left. But the journey to get even to that job was kind of long and different. I just wind up in different industries all the time.
Tell me about those.
Let me see. I remember, like, once I had my daughter Jade. What's up, Jade?
What's up, Jade?
I remember thinking, I'll just be like a nursing assistant. And then I can become an LPN to an RN and whatever else. Well, that didn't work out because I learned very quickly during the internship after completing that program that I get attached to old folks. And
you were working at a nursing home then.
I was in a nursing home. And nobody can deal with that with people passing around you all the time.
That's hard. It's tough.
And then from there, I kept going. Like, I wound up being like in a tax office. I worked for like a TV production studio. I worked in like radio. I've worked but not as a host. That's my dream job.
All right.
It was a company, Clear Channel Communications. So that was like ad sales. And then I said real estate. I went to real estate. And then, along the path there, then I wound up at the district attorney's office. So then I worked there for 5 years. And then I left.
I feel like for a lot of people in general in society, it's not easy for someone to take that leap of faith.
No.
What was it for you that you're like, okay, now is the time? Because I feel like everything has a time.
Well, it's divine timing.
Yes.
It's divine timing. And not everything goes as we plan.
Right.
So there's more people that feel like, well, I have to be married by 25 and I have to have my first child by 27 and I have to have my, my whole career. I want to be a doctor, whatever. Right. And it's like, sometimes it just doesn't work out that way.
Right.
And you have to keep like going down this path of like, all right, it's going to be a bunch of twists and turns, but why can't we just enjoy the journey? Why are we so focused on controlling the journey?
Damn, I definitely fall into that trap.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I like to control as much as I want because if I let go of control, my insecurities come out, my anxiety comes out. I have a hard time sometimes trusting in the universe.
Key word. That's the key word. You got to trust the universe, yes.
Right. Everything that you said about, being married by 25 or having a family at a certain age, like, I grew up having a certain idea of like certain things have to align at a certain time. And so it's like hearing you talk about, okay, well, taking that leap of faith, like, and not necessarily having like this super like rigid plan,
Right.
and being able to be more open to it.
Right.
Right. Like, how would you say someone should go about their life that way then? Because when I guess like the other side would be like, well, don't you need to have a plan? Don't you got to have prepare for certain things in life, like the future and things like that?
I mean, I'm not going to say that there aren't certain things that you can plan for. Like, you know, if you want to be healthier, right? You can plan on, you know, I'm going to do this workout routine, or I'm going to like eat better, things like that, right? There's certain things, right? But that's more so like aligned action to get the outcome that you want.
Yeah.
But remember, with the universe, you're co-creating. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be times that you have to trust who you're co-creating with as much as you trust in yourself, or you try to trust in yourself.
I like how you said that to co-create with the universe. I think that sometimes when we co-create with the universe, we're like, oh, hey, universe, I want this. And then the universe is like, no. You're going to get something else different.
I think it's because she's always trying to give us better, bigger and better, like better opportunities, you know, and she wants us to dream bigger because some of us, we dream smaller in a sense because we limit ourselves. You know what I mean? So
Right.
It's like if you set a goal of like, you know, I'm going to get a job that's offering me $50,000 a year. And then you keep going for these jobs that are clearly stating like, hey, we'll offer you 50,000 and you're not getting it. And then the universe, all of a sudden, you know, there's a recruiter that hits you up. And she's like, hey, I have the perfect job for you. You know, they want to start off at 80,000 K. And you're there like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like, you got to trust in that. You got to trust the process because if she's bringing that to you, it's definitely something that you can take on. So why are we holding ourselves back?
I think it's something that we mentioned in one of the previous podcast episodes, which is like, if we're so focused on that one door that's closed in front of us, we're not going to be able to see the other windows and back doors that have been opened that could be even better than you've ever anticipated.
Right.
To get to where you want to be. Or honestly,
Right.
like maybe you have a certain destination that you want to go, but then the universe is like, wait, here's a little detour.
Yes.
But along this detour, you see a much beautiful view of the scenery. Like, you're not just on the regular highway. You could see some really nice, cool things. And I think that makes your life a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Everything that you said was really cool too. Like going from being like working at radio, working like at a tax place, like being at the nursing home, and now you're here.
And now I'm here. And it took a while because even a year ago, before, like, you know, I've thought of it like, oh, you know, maybe I should just put energy into like what I really want to do, which is like be of service and like help other people and use my gifts to help other people. And, you know, I can be like a live stream host. I could be a content creator. I can, you know, create all this money. If all these people are doing it, why can't I do it? Right. But yet I was still stuck on, you know, that fear of like, well, what if I don't make enough? What if I can't make what I'm making right now? What if the what ifs come in and they come in hard?
It's a real fear though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the legitimate fear.
But you overcame that.
I overcame that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I read somewhere where like on the other side of fear is everything that you have wanted and more.
Yes. Yes.
You
I
have
to
to.
agree with that. I
Yeah.
have to agree with that.
You know, I definitely I still have moments when I'm like, especially currently right now, even as we're recording this episode, I have moments where I have that fear and that doubt as an artist or as an actor.
So I'm sure that in the past, as an artist, as an actor, you've had certain fears, right?
Yeah.
And then now you can look back and be like, oh, I don't know why I was so afraid of that.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
So can you share like one of those moments? Like, how did you push through? How'd you conquer the fear?
I think the first one was, should I even do it? Because I studied business in college.
Okay.
I was studying marketing. At that point, I was about to graduate, and I already had a year's worth of work experience working at tech companies. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. But I felt like I always wanted to be a storyteller. And it was that fear of like, can I do it? Is this something possible? Will my parents accept this? All those things. And I remember having a phone call with my mom about it. I was like, Mom, I'm about to graduate. I don't know if I could do this. And I was crying. I was crying to her. And she's like, hey, look, like, don't worry. Like, we'll support you. We love you. But if you really want to do it, you got to commit. Like, you really got to go for it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go for it. But then even as I did it, there's still so many moments when I felt this imposter syndrome. Like, do I actually deserve to be here to do it? Like, I don't know. Is this really for me? I keep getting rejected. Audition here, audition there. I don't really like this role, but I feel like I got to take this role, and all those different types of things. So I even go back and forth. Like, is this even the right path for me? And I think it was something that you touched on earlier on, which is like all the different jobs that you had. It was like, it led you to the place where you're supposed to go.
Yes. Right.
And I feel like in this moment right now, I'm like, I question sometimes whether this is my right path. How does one know if like a certain path is right for them?
I mean, you got to listen to your soul. You really have to listen to your soul. I always say that too. Like, your soul has all the answers. It's your ego that trips it up, that trips you up, that makes you think that what your soul is telling you, you know, it's going to make you second guess it.
Damn.
You know what I mean? You're like, you just know. It's like a knowing feeling, right? Or like you're listening to your gut and it's telling you, hey, you should go for this. But then, you know, your ego side comes in, it starts to like be like, oh, but what about this? Are you sure you're ready? Do you really think you should be doing that right now? Like, it comes in and like tries to deter you, like lead you a different way. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, like, at some point, it's like you get back on track, or you start recognizing that. The more self-aware you become too, you start recognizing like, no, I think I really do have to trust this and go with it.
Right. And that's what you were saying, is like to trust in the universe to be able to let go of that control.
Yes.
Because I'm not even gonna lie, I had that thing where I made like a little, like, not like I had to like bribe my dad or like, but I had to negotiate with him for a little bit, actually. Like, part of that thing was like, my mom was a little bit more accepting of me being an actor.
Right.
My dad was like, you sure you don't want to go to med school? You still could go to med school if you want to. And so I was like, look, how about this? Like, if I would have gone down the med school route, I probably would become a doctor, graduate by around 30, 32. So I told him that by the time I'm like 30, 32, if I don't make it, then I'll consider doing something else. I'm 30 now.
Okay.
So I think the idea of what I set in myself, that plan, is like, that is an old plan that I had that never had worked in the first place.
Right. You're not even that person anymore.
No.
That made that plan.
No.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And you limited yourself. If I don't make it by this time, that's it.
Right.
That's not true.
I agree with you fully. At that time, I thought that I had to make it at a certain age. Otherwise, if I don't, then it'll all be a waste. And I'd rather do something else.
Because you were afraid.
Yeah.
That's fear-based.
Yeah.
When we're trying to control, we're operating completely out of fear. It is.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid, right? This isn't gonna go the way that I'm dreaming about. So let me try to like take care of this. Like, what do I do to make sure that it goes my way and this and that? And the universe is like, yo, I got this. Why can't you just trust in me right now? We're doing this together. We're co-creating. It's not just about you. I'm here.
Right.
Let me help you with this. Just trust in me and allow me to bring this to you. That's it. It's as simple as like, okay, it'll come in.
Right. I think even after you like said that, I did allow universe to steer me in all these different types of things too.
Mm-hmm.
Because the moment I just said I was going to be an actor, actually a lot of different things happened. All right here is supposed to be our commercial break, but as always, we want to give it a chance for us to give you affirmations. And this time around, we got my one and only Oracle deck, so I'm going to pull a card or two, and that'll be the message for today.
Tell us what it is. Oh, there it is.
The card we have here is Serenity. So when I look at this card, at least in this moment right now, as we're recording this episode, there's water right here. So it almost kind of gives it like a go with the flow.
And what does that give you?
It's like trusting in the universe in a way.
Gives you peace too.
It does, yeah. I think it does give you peace, which is serenity.
Exactly.
Because if you feel like you have too much control, if you want to control the whole outcome of everything, have everything work out in your plan in a certain type of way, you're going to feel very anxious about things. Whether it's for a group project, whether you got something in your work or something with family, it's going to drive you crazy. Let go of that control, be like water, and I think you'd be surprised at how much more peaceful your mind and your life will be.
Let go and let it flow.
I love that. Now back to the episode. The types of jobs that I had, like I was like a dog walker at one point. Like I was an online English tutor.
Wow.
Yeah. I would wake up at 6 a.m. and I would tutor like Korean students.
Wow.
Like, I don't even speak Korean. Like, like you don't have to, but it's like I was like the tutor of the month. Like it was crazy. I was so good at it. Yeah.
Wow.
I was also like I worked for a presidential campaign.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in Iowa. I had a whole squad of volunteers where I was like, all right, you're gonna go to this neighborhood, you're gonna go to this like precinct, we're gonna knock on doors, have them vote for our candidate.
You did all that?
Yeah. And those are just some of the jobs I took. That was just I didn't expect that.
Right.
I didn't expect to have those types of jobs.
Right.
It's just I was an after school teacher. I taught dance, I taught drama, like I taught public speaking.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like
public speaking. I had to conquer mine through Instagram. That's how I conquered public speaking. Yeah, right up until I started doing the Instagram lives in 2020, I was still struggling with public speaking.
Wow.
Like I couldn't even sit in the lunchroom at my old job with my coworkers when we would eat together like every Friday, and they would be like, "Oh, so what are you doing this weekend?" And I already feel like my cheeks getting red, just to say like, "Oh, so this weekend I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna or whatever, or like I'm going to like a wedding or whatever was happening."
Right.
It was just like I wanted to say it fast, and it's like, all right, move on to the next person. Move on to the next person.
I don't want the spotlight. This is
I don't want the spotlight. Right.
Right. I definitely had that feeling too. But that just shows you how much growth that happens.
Yeah.
Throughout our journey and throughout this time that we have on Earth. And I think that, as you said, like, if we trust in the universe, if we allow the universe to take its course while we're co-creating with it, like obviously set your intentions, keep moving forward, but allow the universe to give you certain things and be open to that.
Right. And take aligned action.
Right.
Like, whatever it is, like you, for instance, right? We're talking about acting. Let's just say you want a commercial.
Right. Okay, let's say we
right?
want a commercial.
But how are you going to get to doing a commercial? You got to submit yourself to a casting. Yeah. Right? And, whether you have an agent or a manager, or if you don't, whatever, like you still look for the way to get yourself submitted.
Right.
Right? So like you're taking aligned action because you either are submitting yourself or you're getting yourself a manager or an agent to submit you.
Yeah.
But you've taken it upon yourself to create that. So that way that's one step closer to getting that commercial.
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting here like, yeah, I want to book a commercial and I want to make all this money and stuff like that, and you're sitting back and not doing anything, you're not even putting any energy towards it, how do you expect to create that?
Right.
That's just a little like example. But yeah.
I think it's important to, at least for myself, like I do try to think logically about certain things too, and I don't ever want to feel that like if anybody's out there, just just sit down, just meditate, and just think, I'm gonna have it, I'm gonna have it. Yes, I think you could have manifestation, you could have law of attraction, positive frequencies, and even like affirmations. That's all great, but you do need a line action for that, because if you don't put any action, you don't take the proper steps to that, the universe can't co-create with you. There are moments in our lives where maybe we do want to do a certain thing, but that door is still closed. And in that moment, I almost feel like that is part of that divine timing where you're not ready for that yet.
Okay. Yeah. So that falls under a delay is not a denial.
Mm-hmm. It's,
I love saying that. It's true though.
It is. There is that, what I come to realize is that rejection is redirection.
Yes.
So I've been rejected so many times. As an actor, there's been so many auditions that didn't go my way. Certain roles I thought I was perfect for. I'm sure there's certain jobs that you felt that you were perfect for that didn't go your way. And I always have to sit back at myself and be like, okay, like, why is this happening, right? Is it something that's within my control, but I've done what I can do? Then it's okay, universe, what are we going to do right now, right? And usually when that happens, it's almost like the universe saying it's time for you to focus on something a little bit different. Whether it's your process, your approach, or even look at something completely different. Maybe you've been focusing too much on career. Maybe you've been focusing too much on a certain person. Yes. Right? You become obsessed with, like, I want to be with this person. Can I get back with this person? I've been that way before too. So. Yeah. So it's just like, we know Rob. It's a Gemini me. I can't help it sometimes, you know. You could take that opportunity to be like, you know what? It's closed. Let's find that back alleyway entrance. Let's find that window that is open. You got to look at some other thing, expand your horizon. And then you'll never know where life's going to be. And I think that is also part of divine timing.
Right. I don't feel like if you're like you, let's say if you're called and you know you're called to be an actor or in performing arts, you know, in any of that, I don't feel that you should let it go or give up on it just because you feel like, you know, well, you know, it's not safe enough or this ain't gonna happen or that it can bring you like so much abundance if you believe in it and allow it to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. So in that sense, because there's too many parents out here. I was gonna say it, like there's too many parents out here who are so focused on like the guaranteed, you know, income or like, you know, you gotta have this insurance or you gotta have your retirement, and I get that or whatever, but there's a lot of success too in arts and entertainment, and there's a lot of very successful like commercial actors, you know. And things like that, where they make a lot of money and they're not even celebrities. They're not household names.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
You don't have to be. You know what I'm saying? But like and this is for people that may be considering being an actor too. They're thinking like, that's the thing too. Like a lot of these young actors, they think like, I have to like really be like the next Brad Pitt or, you know, whatever.
Or especially if you're a woman, is like, I got to make it when I'm young.
Right.
Because that's when I'm hot and beautiful versus like when I'm older, like there's fewer roles out there that's for me. Right. Completely not true at all, by the way.
Not true. But that's a limiting belief right there.
It is, yeah.
We start limiting ourselves.
Yeah.
Or we allow the people around us to limit us.
Right.
And hold us back.
A lot of times I limit myself. Even me saying that, oh, by the time I hit 30, got to have some type of success.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or even like, what is success? I think it's important for everybody to define what does success mean for you. Because somebody else could look at what I do and be like, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, Carla. You know Carla as well.
What up, Carla? What up, Carla?
I remember telling her, I was talking to her about the whole acting journey, and she was like, yeah, but like in my eyes, like you're way more ahead than me in acting. I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, you've been on TV. I haven't. Yes. And I don't know what it was. Like, even for myself, I didn't even clock that. Like, I wasn't even like, oh, yeah, like, I've done more than other actors. Because I keep comparing myself with someone who is already such a household name. But if I really look at, oh, what does success mean to me? Well, if part of my success was that, hey, I got my co-star role where I'm not just a background actor. I'm speaking some lines, even if it's 3 lines. Well, that's success.
That's success.
I think we got to be able to be very clear on what that success means for you, no matter what career you want,
Yes.
what relationship you want, what family dynamic you want, what relationship you want with yourself. You got to be very clear on that. And then the universe will co-conspire and co-create with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe the universe knows a lot more. And she's going to send you something even bigger than you ever thought. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. She surprises you.
Yeah.
She'll be the one to surprise you. Career, love, money.
Has there been a surprise for you where you're like...
Oh, there's definitely been surprises for me. In love, in money, even this, just leaving that job.
Yeah, that's true.
I felt like, you know, and here's the thing too, like, it's like what I mentioned, like we you know, I think I mentioned it in the last podcast about getting a raise, like the day that,
Oh.
the week that I decided to like resign, like all of a sudden, in that moment too, like I was thinking like, wow, I'm about to resign from this job and whatever. Do I have enough, you know, and things like that? Because I did plan out, of course, put some money aside because I knew, okay, I need to be okay for like 2 to 3 months so I can do what I want and figure things out. I knew I needed to do that. But in my mind too, I was like, did I have enough or whatever? And I could have went down that road like, you know what, I'm just going to stay another 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, because maybe I'm not ready.
Because maybe I'm not ready or maybe I don't have enough and whatever. And, you know, to cover what I need to cover. And, you know, like you get into your head. But I have so much self-awareness now too that I caught it like, nah, universe has always had my back. Why would this be any different? And I go in that Monday and I'm like, all right, in 2 days, I'm going to resign. And I go in that Monday and they're like, hey, by the way, you guys are getting a bonus.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, in your next check, which is like the same week, which was in 2 days, the same day I was resigning, that money was in my account.
That's crazy.
So when you look at the little things like that was completely a surprise. Nobody knew that was coming in. And it literally came in right in that week where I was going to tell them, like, you know what? I'm giving my 2 weeks. I got to move forward. I knew I needed to do that. But I think for me, that was like the universe saying, see, I got you.
I love that.
You know? Like, yeah.
I think that's like an affirmation that we could probably say on a daily basis, which is like, universe, I know you got me.
Yep.
You got my back.
She has your back. She always has your back.
She always does. Yeah.
All the time. Like, you just have to trust and know that, yeah, nah, she'll bring it in. Like,
Right.
whatever it is that I need. And if she doesn't bring in what I want, that just means she's going to bring me something even greater than that. And that's where you got to stay like, no, you know, like, this is limitless. Like, the possibilities are endless. I came here to play.
I love that.
And have fun.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to get paid just to exist.
Hey, you get paid to exist. You already know. Shoot.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Like, it's like that. But you really have to trust.
I guess, like, if I were to, like, leave, like, a parting message for people, because I feel like there are people out there who may be listening who feel, well, hey, Sin, hey, Rob, I feel lost, or my job is toxic, or my family dynamic is toxic, like, I'm in a relationship that's not so good, like, why does this all happen to me? Woe is me. The thing that I kind of want to leave for everybody is that, with what we said earlier, that the universe has a bigger plan for you, to trust that the universe has a bigger plan for you, that you have guardian angels, that you have spirit guides who love you unconditionally. And if you need that help, ask for that help. Maybe you don't know what the plan is. And
Right.
that's you accepting that I'm letting go of control. I don't have all the answers. Show me a sign.
Right.
Point me to the right direction.
Right.
Try that and keep trying that. And I think you'll surprise yourself with what kind of outcome comes out. It might be different from what you expect. It might be better.
Right. But there's also like, you have to hold gratitude for what you have right now.
Yes.
You have to be
Yes.
very grateful for what you have right now. It doesn't matter how small. You know what I mean? Like, with that, it's just gonna bring in more,
Right.
because you're actually showing, like, I'm grateful for this, so now when something bigger comes, I'll be grateful for that.
Right. And it could be as simple as, hey, like, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head.
Yep.
I'm grateful that my mom's still alive or something. Like,
Yes.
and even sometimes the bad things, sometimes the mistakes. Oh, I'm grateful. And it's hard. It's hard to change your mindset about it. But if you're able to be like, hey, I'm grateful that I overcame this.
Right.
I did not like getting a divorce, but this divorce taught me so much about me.
Yes. Oh my God. Facts.
Speaking from experience, huh?
I'm like, facts.
Right.
No, yeah. Any little thing can, like, teach you. And I get it too, like, there's, and I'm not going to, like, also not acknowledge the fact that there are a lot of people that are not in the position that they're able to take the leap right now.
Right.
And that's okay. But what we're trying to say is, like, you can still plant the seeds little by little now.
Yeah.
And allow them to grow little by little. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because, like, same thing like what I said. Like, a year ago, I would have never left my job. I was thinking about it every day, but I wasn't there yet. And that's okay, because here I am.
Yeah.
I finally got there and I jumped.
And I feel like you've grown exponentially.
I know. And
During that
everybody's
time.
telling me how happy I am right now.
Yeah, you are. You're glowing.
Glowing.
You got the light.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and it's been great. It's been
amazing.
an amazing time. Like, all these opportunities are coming. Like, there's a lot of things opening up. This podcast right here, which is gonna go to #1. I'm just saying, just putting it out there.
iHeartRadio,
Let's go.
sponsorship from Com app
You
and
know what I'm
Headspace.
saying?
I love that.
Yeah. So you just gotta believe, though, right? And trust in it. And we're
Trust.
planting the seeds.
Yeah.
Here we are, recording this podcast.
Keep planting those seeds, however big or small they are. Keep watering it, tend to it. Have patience that things will work out the way they should. Do you have any other final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, man, just go for it.
I love
Go
that.
for it in gratitude and in trust, and see what happens. Just see what happens.
I like that. We're going to end with just see what happens. So thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Gemini Soulcast. I'm your host, Rob.
I'm Sin.
And we'll see you next time. See what happens.